Mr. Adams.
Present.
Mr. Perk.
Here.
Mr. Melvin.
Here.
Mr. Rodriguez.
Here.
Mr. Arabi.
Here.
Chairman Oten.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson.
Here.
Mr. Lorraine.
Here.
And President Chasson is not with us tonight. Right.
Administrator Mitch will be filling in. If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Brumfield, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Adams.
Father God, Jehovah, we thank you for your presence. We thank you for your presence in our lives. We ask that you would empower us with your spirit. Help us to make wise decisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's council meeting. I'd also like to remind everyone to please silence or turn off your cell phones out of respect for others. Additionally, there are blue forms when you walked in. If you are interested in addressing the council, please fill out a blue form, get up to the council clerk. We'll be certain to recognize you during the public wishing to address the council. Additionally, I'll just remind everyone that when we go over ordinances, I'll ask for public input 3 times before the council discusses, and you can come up at that time, discuss any ordinance you like, or that ordinance that's up. And then when we get to resolutions, however, that's just going to go strictly to council deliberations before voting. Okay, got it. All right, we'll go to item A, approval of minutes. We're going to ask someone to please defer. If we're going to have a motion to defer the minutes of the May 28, 2024 regular session to the
June 25th.
June 25th regular session. So moved by Councilman Perk, followed by second by Councilman Arabi. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Does anyone oppose? Motion passes with 9 yeas and 0 nays. We good?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Item B, stating all federal legislative updates. Do we have any federal or state legislators in the audience? None. Item C, we have none, although we will be discussing that a little bit later. Item D, certificate of recognition. Number 2, the Parish President Archie Chasson will present a certificate of recognition to the winners of the annual drug-free calendar contest. Mr. Administrator, I'm assuming you're going to take the roll on. And with that said, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You mind if I move over to the lectern to hand these out? We have
Absolutely.
several. Thank you. All right. So for the 9th annual drug-free calendar contest, this was made possible by the Louisiana Department of Health, and special thanks to the Lafourche Parish School District, and St. James also had participated. But for Lafourche Parish, grand prize winner, we're going to ask you to come up. We'll also take an individual photo, and we'll take a group photo as well. I'm sure, Mr. Chairman, would you like to do it here at the dais, or would you prefer to take the group photo outside?
Indifferent.
Indifferent?
It,
all right.
It makes for a nice photo in here.
So we'll definitely do it in here.
For record.
All right. So grand prize winner, Mallory Hogan. Yep. Q Gyro, first place winner, North LaRose Elementary. First place winner, First place winner, North LaRose Elementary, goes to Gregory Mathern.
He's an outdoorsman.
Next first place winner, North LaRose Elementary, went to Sagan Egram. And I apologize for not having the grades. Next first place winner was Angel Mejia Oliviez from Golden Meadow. Next first place winner, Golden Meadow Middle School, was Sadie Gaspar. Second place winner, Lockport Upper Elementary, was Eliza Lapine. Second place winner, St. Genevieve Catholic School, Addison Thibodeau. Second place winner, Thibodeau Middle School, Abby Goday. Second place winner, South Lafourche High School, Michaela Bienvenu.
That's pretty good.
Second place winner, Lockport Upper Elementary, Luke Bourgeois. Honorable mention winner, Holy Rosalie Catholic School, Aviana Sheremy. Honorable mention winner, Amelie Lafazzo, St. Genevieve Catholic School. Honorable mention winner from Golden Meadow Middle School, Annette Williams. Honorable mention winner from St. Genevieve Catholic School, Brooklyn Becknell. Honorable mention winner from Golden Meadow Middle School, Mackenzie Billiot. Honorable mention winner from Golden Meadow Middle School, Gracie Leoncia. Great artwork, and thank you to everyone that participated. Good job. You want to come up, or?
Sure.
Come this way, huh? Yeah, that's what they say. Yeah.
Maybe the smaller
We just moved, Chief.
Melvin don't want to be in.
I don't want no one. He can't draw, that's why.
Let's get on my shoulders.
also bought extra copies of the calendar. We have some on the back table. If y'all would like to have a copy, we have some on the back table. And we'll also have some extra outside.
I'm gonna get one. You want this? Like your dad, right?
I don't know, Mr. Gary said he sounds like his daddy.
Hey, sweet feet, how you doing? Good. What happened to Mr. There he is.
I'm sorry. What's
So
up?
what happened to Mr. Dooney?
No problem.
Still water. You need one?
No, I'm good.
Thank you.
Ma'am? Is this your
Thank you
scale?
very much.
I just thought about that.
What's
That's
that?
next year or this year? Oh, this year. Start
This year, start with
Radio man's.
Start with July.
Okay, we'll resume our regular agenda. Item E, proclamations. Number 3, proclamation proclaiming the week of June 17th through 23, 2024 as Amateur Radio Week. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you. State of Louisiana Parish Lafourche proclamation. Whereas amateur radio operators are celebrating over a century of the miracle of communications over the airwaves, and whereas by continuous learning and experimentation, amateur radio operators have advanced the science and art of radio-related communications, and whereas amateur radio operators provide service and support of first responders, officials and citizens of the parish of Lafourche in preparing for responding to and recovering from declared disasters, and whereas the parish recognizes the service amateur radio operators provide to our many emergency response organizations, and whereas the parish of Lafourche recognizes and appreciates the diligence of these hams, who also serve as weather spotters in the Sky-Warn program of the National Weather Service, and whereas the American Radio Relay League is the National Association for Amateur Radio, and whereas the ARRL Field Day exercise will occur on June 22nd, 23rd, 2024, and whereas this exercise is a 24-hour emergency preparedness drill and demonstration of the operator's skills and readiness to provide self-supporting communication. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Lafourche Parish Council convened in regular session on June 11, 2024. We do hereby proclaim the week of June 17th to the 23rd, 2024 in the parish of Lafourche as Amateur Radio Week. In witness thereof, I, Daniel Lorraine, Councilman District 9, Lafourche Parish Council, do hereby set my signature and have caused to be affixed the official seal of the Lafourche Parish Council, State of Louisiana, the 11th day of June 24, Matthews, Louisiana. And I'd like to present this to no other than Mr. Martin Wade, the JP of Wharton. Daniel, on behalf of the the Thibodeau Amateur Radio
Can you,
Club.
hold on one second, let me get the lectern, all right, you good.
On behalf of the Thibodeau Amateur Radio Club, one of the oldest clubs in America, carrying the sign, Whiskey 5 Young Lady, W5YL, we're proud to be part of Lafourche Parish. We pray we're never needed. We would like to have a quiet hurricane season. But Daniel, for you, the whole bunch of y'all, everybody, and Archie, we thank y'all from the bottom of our heart.
That's good.
Thank you. Although we forgot to say his name, I think it's Martin Wade. Martin Wade, I can tell you, 16358 West Avenue A. I happily serve as your Justice of the Peace in the 10th Ward. Anything that this council needs, I am at your service.
Thank you, sir. Okay, brings us to item F, presentations and/or updates. Item 4, Mr. Furnace LeBlanc, CEO, Ocean Bayou Region, and Mr. Leonard St. Pierre, Lafourche Parish Hospital Service District Number 2, to present their 2023 annual report. I don't see either one of them here. I'm not sure what happened. Brings us to item 5, Parish President to recognize Lafourche Parish Government Employee of the Month and our WOW employees for the month of May 2024. Mr. Administrator, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This employee has worked in OEP for a year now, and within that year, she has helped prepare and update grant paperwork, assist residents prepare for emergencies, and actually has helped the department function better. She's always willing to help and offer a lending hand where needed, and we're appreciative that she shows up with a giving heart daily, especially considering she has to put up with Boudreaux every day. Our employee of the month is the OEP Office Assistant, Mrs. Claire Yates.
Thank you, Claire, and thank you for your service to our citizens. Brings us to item G, Legal Advisor Report. We have none. Item H, Engineers and or Architect Reports.
Oh, we do have one.
Good evening, Kevin Nazar with GIS Engineering. Update you on our projects we have ongoing tonight. First up is our maybe. Says it on. Yeah. I just got to get a little bit that way. Okay. Our first project is going to be the Butch Hill Pump Station. This project is ready to go to bids. We're just waiting any final comments from Dylan, but I don't think there are any. I think really we're just waiting on funding to move this forward. Any questions on that one? Okay, so the Valentine Pump Station project. This project we are continuing to coordinate with DOTD and Archie and staff. We're looking very seriously at withdrawing from the RAISE grant on this project. We're trying to make sure that all the permits and DOTD coordination will be in place if we do choose to go that route.
So if I may ask, so what's the update? That's the same thing that was said last time. That y'all were thinking about pulling out the raise.
Right.
So is there an update, or is that just the same thing?
The update, we're still working with DOTD. We want to make sure that DOTD won't require any more stringent requirements if we just decide to pull out. That was the main issue with the RAISE grant, is that Federal Highway was putting some serious requirements on us that was increasing the cost of the structure substantially. We want to confirm, and we want to get confirmation in writing from DOTD that they will honor previous agreements, that they're just going to let us go ahead and make it a parish bridge, and it's going to be load rated, not to absolute DOT standards, but it's still going to be safe to travel, but it's going to be load rated for single lane passage on a heavy vehicle.
Thank you.
We want to make sure that DOTD gives us that in writing, and we've been trying to work on with them to get it back and forth. It's just taking some time, unfortunately. For the Grand Bayou Freshwater introduction, so we are working through final design. Everything's going good. We're working with our subs on this one, and we are planning to have final design submitted to the parish in August or September timeframe. For the waste collection facility, so we provided some cost options to kind of redesign the waste collection facility at Highway 90 there, removing the trash and backfilling it with select fill or sand or something that could be as a suitable base. We provided those options, and I think we're still waiting to hear back from the parish on the preferred route to go on that. Okay, so for the Hurricane Ida pump station rehabilitations, continue coordination with FEMA on this. We did supply the H&H models for the Ravenswood, Magnolia pump stations for review. Other than that, it's just back and forth with FEMA, trying to get that money. All right, so for the Eunice Alamo pump station, the final design phase comments from LPG were received and addressed. So this should be ready to advertise for bids, or the bid package will be ready by the end of this week. And then we'll be ready to advertise. So if funding and everything's in place, we'll be good to go. So for the Midway drainage study and report, we continue working on the hydraulic analysis. We are running preliminary runs of the H&H model, and calibrating the model is ongoing, but overall we are moving forward on that one. And then last one is the Lockport elevated boardwalk. This one on our end really hasn't moved much. We are still coordinating with ELOS, who is coordinating with the Corps for some permits on that. The Corps did have a requirement that it would involve some very extensive survey, and we provided that information of what that would cost to the parish, and I think Archie was trying to figure out what the best path was for that. Any questions on any of these?
And I think most of them pretty much right where they were at last time, for the most part. I don't know if y'all see something different. It looks like it's pretty much all the same. But much appreciated.
Unfortunately, other than a couple of them, a lot of them are all done. We're just waiting on the go-ahead to make it happen.
Thank you, sir. Do we have any other engineers in our architect reports? There being none, brings us to item I, public wishing to address the council, public hearings, agenda items, etc. Ms. Carleen.
Mr. Wayne Ogeron, if you'd come to the podium, sir, state your name and address for the record, and please remember you have 3 minutes.
Wayne Ogeron, 4210 West Avenue C cutoff, 70345. And I've come to discuss a problem that's been going on for a while. I've been fighting this for about 16 years now. And it got out of hand the other day because the one causing the problem, the business causing the problem, came up to me with an aggressive tone. I would just like to know what we have to do to get our rights restored for our access to our property down our street. It's being restricted right now. I can't get a clear answer on Ordinance 2278. And I'd just like to know why we're the only street in the parish that's restricted from accessing our property 24/7. It restricts 24/7 ambulance protection and fire protection also. I still have 6 valid signatures from the petition I gathered about 3 years ago or 4 years ago. I had 22 at that time. The community or the street's been fluid and all. Some people moved out, some people haven't moved out. And I did verify I still have 6 legitimate signatures, and I'd just like to know why we have to be different than any other street in the parish. According to the own ordinance right here, where did I find that? I just had it the other day, or just a while ago. The only time the parish can really restrict us from getting to our property is during an emergency, and right now we're not in an emergency. The business that's causing the problem down the street has room to park off the street. Even 18-wheelers, they can park off the street if they wanted to. Why they choose to park in the street and restrict our access is another reason I can't get to or understand. I have pictures here that show that they can park off the street. Why they don't want to, I have no idea. Where's that one that said under section 40-123? I also have a letter from the Sheriff's Department saying that the district attorney says that the parish ordinance can be enforced if there's a violation. And I believe the violation is restricting us from accessing our property whenever we want to. Like I said the other day, they had an 18-wheeler down the street, waited in the front of the street for about 20-15 minutes. And instead of moving the 18-wheeler out of the way once it was unloaded.
You can continue. Mr. Brumfield, relinquishes 3 minutes. You can keep going. Keep going.
Okay.
You good.
The owner came up to me in an aggressive mood, and we've been doing this for years and all. I pointed to him that it was a public street and all. We've been doing this all the time. Here's the section I want to repeat, or if I can. Section 40-123, stopping, standing, and parking generally. No person shall stop, park, or leave standing any vehicle, whether attended or unattended, upon the main street travel, park into the street or public way, where it's practical to stop, park, and leave such vehicle off a said street or public way. In any event, unrestricted width of the street opposite a standing vehicle shall be left for the free passage of other vehicle, and a clear view of stopped vehicle shall be available from a distance of 50 feet in each direction upon such street or public way. As I said before, there is place for them to park off the street on their property. You can even put 18-wheelers there. Why they choose not to get along with the neighbors and all, it's been an ongoing issue, and I did report them the other day to the police. I don't know if the police showed up or not. I had to give them my address and all, and they made me feel like a criminal. And they never did come find me to hear my story, which is the case all the time. And that's why they say that the report shows that they're never in violation and all that. My address is clear. Everybody knows who I am down the street. I just need to get some kind of definition or maybe a letter sent to the DA from the constable to get something done about this ordinance. It should be revoked to begin with. We should not have a restricted on our street to give access to our property. It's just as simple as that. And I get different interpretations of the ordinance. I've looked it up a lot, and I researched it. I got pictures showing that vehicles can park off the street. I just don't know what else to do right now, but I don't want it to get out of hand like it did the other day. I mean, I was there. The business owner says, oh, you have to stand there just 15, 20 minutes. Well, this is Louisiana. You stay in a vehicle 15, 20 minutes in the hot sun, you're going to sweat. I stayed off. I didn't cause any problem. He wanted me to pass on somebody else's property to get down to get down the street, which is supposed to be a public street. I don't see the purpose of this at all. If you read the ordinance right, though, the freight zone is north of the street, not on the street, on top of the street or anything. It's north of the street, which might be a small word to some people, but I don't know. I'm coming to the council for answers or some kind of a definite answers, maybe from the DA or something you can get to really explain that ordinance.
Thank you. Does anyone have any comments on this? Can offer any? I know he has made this argument quite a few times. Mr. Melvin.
Yes, sir. And I've seen you here before, and thank you for coming. I'm trying to see on Google Earth, and it's a cloudy view. Anybody can see it's a cloudy view. I'm just trying to see. I see the office building. I see your street, and I know that the council, we write ordinances, etc. But the sheriff enforces it. I don't know if there's a state law that goes along with this that would supersede it as well, or go along with it. But I know as being a part of a fire company, they need to have access, but again, we make the laws or the ordinances, and the sheriff's supposed to reinforce that, but I'm just still trying to figure out,
Well, we shouldn't be blocked is what I'm getting to. According to what I've read, we should not be blocked. We should still have access. One deputy told me all they're allowed is half the street. The street is 16 foot wide. The freight trucks that could be parked in between their buildings to be unloaded off the street are 10 foot wide. That's going over the ordinance and all that.
Is it that they can't turn around? Is that it while they're using the street? Is that they can't turn around to access the highway again?
Well, they can turn around. They got access. And that's not what I'm complaining about, trucks going into their building and out of the building. It's just that they can park off the street. Why they don't want, I don't know. But we're the only street in the parish. And that is our right to get to our property. I don't understand why we're different.
So are you coming to us to ask us to change an ordinance or to enforce an ordinance?
Basically enforce the ordinance.
Okay, we don't enforce ordinance. Usually the sheriff enforces. We write it, law enforcement enforces. So, and I'm just telling you, when somebody calls me and they say, hey, I'm having a problem with my neighbor, they park on the street, they're doing this. In some instances we can write a letter for certain things, but in some instances we can't.
What can I do if they don't enforce it?
It might be a civil matter. Well, I hear what you're saying. I know. I'm just trying to figure out exactly, because I know I've seen you up here before.
I know it was passed under our nose because we didn't know that was happening. I didn't find out about it till I retired, which was about 16 years ago.
And that's a special ordinance for your street?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's been in there for a while. But when I retired, I noticed that I can't get down the street or out of the street when I want. My other neighbors too. A petition didn't help. The last councilman that was there, I don't know what he did with the petition, but it disappeared, it looked like. I had 22 signatures. And I checked the other day and I still have 6 valid signatures on it that people still live there that complain about it. I'm not the only one complaining about it, but I'm the only one that comes in here and talks.
Okay.
And that's all I can do is talk about it. Something gets done, good. Something doesn't get done. Maybe read the ordinance exactly like it's supposed to be, because I have got more than one interpretation.
Okay.
And it's supposed to be enforced by the DA or the Sheriff's Department.
Yeah. And what exact ordinance number is that?
You said 2278.
2278.
2278. Okay.
Yeah, I would respectfully request our council clerk to send the full council that ordinance just for us to peruse, maybe include the administration. And I don't know if there are options on that street where you could put a divider down the middle, because we run into the same problem with some of the fire stations where there's one business that's right next to us, and it's not the fault of the business, it's the truckers that come in from around the country and they don't know any better, and it's just an easy access. If you had dividers on the street, then they wouldn't be able to park right in the middle of the street.
I think that would help. That would let them know that they're over half the street.
Yeah.
I've even requested a fire lane too. No parking fire lane. I don't know what would be more important, a fire lane or free zone.
I think a divider, if you have a divider, the truckers that are unaware, it helps, from my experience.
That would help, because I've seen it in another area in Raceland. I talked to Ms. Araby about it one time, and I said, I noticed that this street has a yellow line down the middle of it, and he said that was before his time, and I said, yeah, there's a yellow line there and all. So I asked him if he knew why it was there. He said, you didn't know why either.
I can tell you why there, because both the streets that we had done, I was the orchestrator of it. And so that's why I'm saying we may have options.
That would be a good option and all to help out at least. And it might give more force to enforce the ordinance like it's supposed to be. Because like I said, they're not supposed to be taking over half, but unless you have a tape measure out there, you know.
Yeah.
I took a tape measure.
We wrote it down, we can have a look, and that way we can.
Yep, but we can get a little more educated dialogue with you.
That's all I can act. That's all I can ask and bring it to the attention, and I appreciate the time.
Oh, all right. So Terry, hold on, Mr. Araby, you have the floor, sir.
Is that the only issue you have on that street is with the 18-wheelers in the front?
The 18-wheelers could park north of the building because they have a big old parking lot there. They used to park a school bus there. But I'm having a problem with we all are having a problem with the smaller trucks that could park between the building. And I've got pictures in here that
yeah, well, I've been to that. If they
get there before the owners are there, they park off the street and they unload off the street. But when the owners are there, they make them park on the street. Just because.
Well, I do know that you've been having this issue for quite some time, because when I worked for the parish, I've been on that complaint several times already. And it's not just that particular area. When the Kentwood delivers water down y'all street, I got pictures of that too. Well, I don't have them no more, but.
Man, we hasn't done that in a long time. Kentwood used to take right in the middle of the street there, and I said, why?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know, there's more than one issue there. It's not just that particular business in the front. You know, there's any other truck that goes down there that will cause y'all the same problem.
And unfortunately, right now, like I said, I'm retired, so I got more time to spend down the street, where before I wouldn't notice something like that.
Yeah, well, I noticed that when I went down there, because like I said, when I was sitting down there to go check on it, I seen the Kentwood truck down there, and they was doing the same issue. So,
like I said, there's room to park off the street. That's all I can say there. And I appreciate the time.
Very good. We'll take a look at it. Thank you, sir.
And maybe in a couple of years, I'll come back again.
Very good. Like the record will reflect, Mr. Melvin stepped out at 17:38 hours. That was it. Thank you very much, Ms. Corleen. Brings us to item J, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. I'll now entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 8 yeas, 0 nays. One member who has stepped out of the chambers currently, which is Mr. Melvin. Motion passed, so it brings us to item 6, ordinance to install no 18-wheeler signs at the entrance of Highway 3235 turning on to West 217th Street on each side, north side and south side, and from the beginning of LA1 entering onto West 217th Street, Guatemala, Louisiana, Ward 10, District 9, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, requiring the placement of no 18-wheeler signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Moved by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance number 6? Second call, public input on ordinance at number 6. Last and final call. Anyone from the public was a comment? You have to come up to the mic and state your name and address for the record, sir. And this has to be specifically to this ordinance on this street.
Specifically to the ordinance. My name is Martin Wade, 16358 West Avenue A, Galliano, Louisiana. And I believe 18-wheelers are a problem in our area, and especially this street, because it is one of the narrowest streets that we got in our area. And I've taken myself to working on trying to set out a truck route, because GPS will lead you to bad neighborhoods all the time. So it's something that we need to kind of work on. And we bring out a lot, and a lot of people call me, ring my telephone and say, hey, Martin, can you help me with this problem? And I tell them, talk to Daniel. He's the special man. But I really appreciate any help the council can give us on this issue that we have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Let the record reflect Mr. Melvin stepped back in the chambers at 17:40 hours. Would anyone from the public, last call, like to comment on ordinance number 6? There be none. Anyone from the council? There be none. We'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 7, an ordinance requesting a no dumping $500 fine sign be posted at the end of East 93rd Street, Galliano, Louisiana, Ward 10, District 9, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, installing necessary no dumping $500 fine sign and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Moved by Mr. Lorraine, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Second call, public input on the ordinance at 7. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? There being none. Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 8, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6090 that approved Archon Information Systems DBA Civic Source to publicly advertise an auction the educated property located on Highway on Highway 316, Gray, Louisiana 70359. Assessment number 811068730 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Roderick for the administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 8? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 8. Last and final call, anyone from the public would like to comment on the ordinance at number 8? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 9, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6102 that approved a non-warranty cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located on Highway 316 in Gray, Louisiana 70359. Assessment number 811068730 for a minimum amount of $4,675 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Roderick for the administration, second by Ms. Chasson. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 9? Second call, public input for the ordinance at number 9. Last and final call, anyone wants to input on ordinance number 9? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Adams stepped out just now.
Oh.
8 yeas, 0 nays, went out of the room.
Gotcha. I correct myself. That was 8 yeas, 0 nays. The record reflect that Mr. Adams stepped out the chambers at 17:43 hours. And so the motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 person out the room, that being Mr. Adams. I also note that looks like Mr. Rodriguez's name's misspelled quite a few times on this agenda. Just for someone to catch that. It's not one that spell check will catch, but I sure see it.
I'm the one who did it.
Brings us to item 10, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6839 that approved Civic Source to publicly advertise an auction educated property located on Sandra Street, La Rose, Louisiana 70373. Assessment number 004159620 with a minimum starting bid of $12,553.14 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chess of administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 10? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 10. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? There will be none. Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays. 1 person temporarily out of the chambers, that being Mr. Adams. Item number 11, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6844 that approved a non-warranty cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located on Sandra Street, La Rose, Louisiana 70373. Assessment number 004159620 with a minimum starting bid of $12,533.14 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chess of administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Let the record reflect Mr. Adams has re-entered chambers at 17:44 hours. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 11? Second call, public input, ordinance at 11. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 12, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6414 that approves Civic Source to publicly advertise an auction the adjudicated property located on Teller Street, Berger, Louisiana 70343, assessment number 804-138-1800 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any relevant documents. Ms. Chesson would kindly move on behalf of the administration. Second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public would like to comment on the ordinance at number 12? Second call, public input on the ordinance at number 12. Last and final call, anyone from the public like to comment on ordinance number 12? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 13, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6439 that approved a non-warranted cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located on Teller Street, Berger, Louisiana 70343, assessment number 804-138-1800 for a minimum amount of $4,000 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any relevant documents. Ms. Chesson will move on behalf of the administration. Second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 13? Second call, public input, ordinance at 13. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed with 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 14, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6099 that approved Orcon Information Systems DBA Civic Source to publicly advertise an auction educated property located at 124 East 125th Street, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, assessment number 81022-74700 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Lorraine for the administration, second by Ms. Chesson. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 14? Second call, public input at 14. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 14? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 15, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6115 that approved a non-warranted cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located at 124 East 125th Street, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, assessment number 81022-74700 for a minimum amount of $4,675 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public would like to comment on this ordinance? Second call, public input on this ordinance. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on ordinance at 15? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Ordinance number 16, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6091 that approved Orcon Information Systems DBA Civic Source to publicly advertise an auction the adjudicated property located at 301 East 116th Street, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, assessment number 81022-87700 due to non-payment of ad valorem property taxes and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at 16? Second call, public input at 16. Last and final call. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 16? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 17, ordinance rescinding ordinance number 6101 that approved a non-warranted cash sale agreement for property adjudicated to Lafourche Parish government located at 301 East 116th Street, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, assessment number 81022-87700 for a minimum amount of $4,675 and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 17? Second call, public input, the ordinance at 17. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 18, ordinance approving a variance to Entergy Louisiana to Chapter 26, Article 4, Section 26-104 pertaining to noise control prohibitions of the Lafourche Parish Code of Ordinances and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any relevant documents. Mr. Lorraine for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 18? Second call, public input for the ordinance at 18. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 18? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. I now entertain a motion to close public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Araby. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item K, proposed ordinances. Mr. Melvin, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Number 19, proposed ordinance, amending ordinance number 6896, that declared property as surplus belonging to the Lafourche Parish government, authorizing disposal of surplus property, authorizing the advertisement of surplus items for sale, authorizing the acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chasson for the administration. Number 20, proposed ordinance declaring property as surplus belonging to Lafourche Parish government, authorizing the disposal of surplus property, authorizing advertising of surplus items for sale, authorizing the acceptance of the highest qualified bidders, and any remaining items that are deemed to have no value will be properly discarded, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Chasson for the administration. Number 21, proposed ordinance approving a servitude agreement between SRJK Properties LLC, represented by its manager Robert O. Gravois, and Lafourche Parish, and the parish of Lafourche in the Thibodeau area, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Adams for the administration. Number 22, proposed ordinance declaring the intent of Lafourche Parish government to acquire full ownership of the adjudicated property located at 800 South Acadia Road, Thibodeau, Louisiana 70301, assessment number 00205-42000, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Perk from the administration.
Thank you very much, Mr. Melvin. Much appreciated. Brings us to item L, resolutions. Number 23, resolution opposing the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority's proposed Mid-Barataria Settlement Diversion Project. Mr. Lorraine, you have the floor, sir.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to defer this till June 25th because this is a big issue and there's a lot of pros and cons. Some are for it, some are not. But I could tell you real quick, Grand Isle, Terrebonne, St. Bernard, and Plaquemine has opposed this. So, to be fair, let's give the two sides an opportunity to come address us, and then we'll take action after that. Thank you.
Very good. So item 23, defer to the June 25th meeting. Item 24, resolution to officially name the park owned by Lafourche Parish government across from the Cutoff Youth Center on West 79th Street, Cutoff, Louisiana, the Eagle Scout Park. Moved by Ms. Chesson, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Item 25, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish government, Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, Lafourche Parish Clerk of Court, and the 17th Judicial District Court for security at the courthouse and courthouse annex in Thibodeau for the 2024 year, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. Moved by Mr. Perk for administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 26, resolution appointing one member to the Keep Lafourche Beautiful Committee representing the city of Thibodeau. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
We have one vacancy, one appointment. Mr. Todd DeGrees.
Mr. DeGrees, and I get a second? Second by Mr. Rodrigue. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 27, resolution appointing one member to the Keep Lafourche Beautiful Committee representing the town of Golden Meadow. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
Mr. Carl Williams.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
Carl Williams.
Mr. Williams, a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes with 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 28, resolution appointing one member to the Keep Lafourche Beautiful Committee representing Nicholls State University. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
One vacancy, one appointment, Dr. Mary Jackson.
Dr. Jackson, and a second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 29, resolution appointing one member on the 5th Ward Gravity Drainage District Number 5 Board. Mr. Adams for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Adams?
Timothy Trosclair.
I'm sorry, say it again for the record.
Timothy Trosclair.
Mr. Trosclair, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 30, resolution reappointing one member to the Fire Protection District Number 4 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
One vacancy, one reappointment, Mr. Perry Falcon.
Mr. Falcon, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 31, resolution reappointing one member on the Fire Protection District Number 7 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
One vacancy, one reappointment, Mr. Bruce Gotro.
Mr. Gotro, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 32, resolution appointing one member to the Heroes Monument Commission Board. Mr. Araby for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Araby?
One vacancy. Got it. One vacancy, one applicant, Mr. Robert Terrio.
Mr. Terrio, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 33, resolution appointing one member on the Special Education District Number 1 Board. Mr. Lorraine for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Lorraine?
One vacancy and one appointment.
Hold on. All right, go ahead. One more time.
Terrio.
Mr. Terry had left his mic on for a sec.
Terry, you messed me up again.
You good now. You clear.
Okay, he did it? It went through?
No, I don't know. I didn't hear it.
Oh, do it now. Okay. One vacancy, one appointment. Wanda Terrio.
Ms. Terrio, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. I do have the ability to close it out. I'm just still trying to get used to this board too, so that's on me also. Item 34, resolution approving 2 memorandums of understanding between Lafourche Parish Government and Best Friends Animal Society for 2 scholarships to attend the 2024 Best Friends National Conference, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreements and any all relevant documents. Mr. Brumfield for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Brings us to item 35, resolution approving amendment number 3 to the intergovernmental agreement between the state of Louisiana through the Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, CPRA Board, and Lafourche Parish Government for the Grand Bayou Freshwater Reintroduction Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and all relevant documents. Moved by Ms. Shessoff, administration, second by Mr. Lorraine. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Item 36, resolution approving agreement between Pisciola and Associates Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government for the project titled Choctaw Levee Mitigation Project, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? Mr. Melvin.
Yes, I just had a quick question. I know we've been dealing with this for a while, and I read over it. I just saw a lot of typical, things that are written in there for the contract for the engineer, but what exactly is going on with this levy now, what this is about?
Does anyone, Mr. Go ahead, Ms. Administrator, you have it.
Thank you. So this is in relation to this ongoing project. It's been around since a couple administrations ago. Ultimately, the Corps approved the permitting and the mitigation that's associated with this, and so this agreement here is to move forward with what we need to engineer related to that project and moving the levee, et cetera. I'm sorry?
That's going to put it to bed?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of negotiation had to go on with that. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays. Brings us to item M, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers reports, presentations, and our updates. Item 37, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. Dylan, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll go ahead and get started, as always, with the Thibodeau Field Office. This is Abbey Road, swept roadside ditches. Diplomat Way outfall, cleared trees. Layton Pump Station, clean trash screen. East Camellia Drive, repaired potholes. Highland Lakes outfall, swept outfall. Constant Drive, swept north outfall. Fairway Drive, repair pothole. Moving to Choctaw Field Office, the Chack Bay South Levee, swept Barrow Canal. In Choctaw Road, replace collapsed driveway culvert. For the Buy Blue Field Office, is Marcel Street, swept roadside ditches. We also swept roadside ditches on Louise Lane, Linda Street, Maxine Boulevard outfall, shred trees. Moving to Raceland Field Office is their Upper 10 outfall, swept outfall. Porsche outfall, swept outfall. St. Anne Street, swept roadside ditches. Zen Street outfall, swept outfall. Bridge Road, swept roadside ditches and clean culverts. Fall Street, swept roadside ditches. Moving to Lockport Field Office is Romey Drive. This is a temporary repair to a pothole. You can see the white markings is where the maintenance contractor is going to come back and saw cut and do a permanent base repair. This is the Bayou Lafourche between T-Bar Bridge and the Intercoastal Canal. We finally got to install those idle speed only signs, and when I say we, this is with the aid of Bayou Lafourche Freshwater District. Gemini Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. LaRose Service Road, swept roadside ditches. Moving to Galliana Field Office is West 151st Street, swept roadside ditches. West 196th Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. East 18th Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. East 19th Street, replace collapsed driveway culvert. As far as work completed by the maintenance contractor, this is River Birch Avenue, replace broken curb. Chestnut Ridge Drive, also replace a few broken curbs. Highland Oaks Avenue, replace broken curbs. Canebrake Drive, replace concrete panels. Cascade Drive, replace concrete panels. East 39th Street, replace concrete driveway. And also East 39th Street, replace another concrete driveway. Hickory Knoll Avenue, replace broken curb. Twin Oaks Drive, asphalt patch. Red Maple Drive, replace broken curbs. As far as the work that was completed in the office over the last month, there was one permanent servitude acquired, one major subdivision inspection, no major subdivision reviews in the last month. There were 2 property redivision reviews. For permitting, there were 16 culvert permits and 2 fence permits issued. 342 work requests were received. 88 permits were reviewed for compliance, and 22 jobs were completed by the maintenance contractor. As far as the engineering work, there are currently 25 projects in design phase, 7 projects under construction, 1 project that's out to bid, which is Alley Pump Station, and no projects were completed in the last month. And with that, I'll entertain any questions.
Mr. Melvin.
Hey, D, real quick, I'm going to email you. I got a call yesterday from 100 Garden Drive. It's the corner on Country Club Boulevard at the first right. It's a house on the corner. And it looks like there's some erosion around the culverts, and so it's Dugas Canal culverts. So I just want to make sure we check it to make sure the road, I don't think it's going to fall in, but it looks like it's slowly wanting to erode a little bit, like towards the road and getting kind of close. So I'm going to email you a picture of that.
We'll look at it tomorrow. Thank you.
Dylan, I have one question. Is Mr. Rogers still the district engineer for LED DOTD for us?
No, sir.
He's been replaced?
Yes, sir. Mr. Jacob Onkow is now in that position.
Okay, well, that's news to me. That's so I guess for 15 plus years we've been working with Chris on getting these this 5 bridge project that was funded. It was in there and it kind of keeps getting bumped. I think it started off with COVID, then Zeta, and then Ida. Anyway, we lost 3 more people to that same location where I keep losing people at. So just kind of interested in maybe getting an update to see where they stand with that 5 bridge replacement project. And maybe make him aware that, you know, it's been in the pipeline for 15 or so years and 3 more people lost their lives this past weekend waiting on that bridge to be straightened out, that area.
I'll request an update, copy you on it, and I'll make sure you have his contact information as well.
Excellent. Much appreciated. With that said, move to item N, questions for the administration. There being none, brings us to item O, discussion. I do have one. We have this, the Outstanding Citizen Award Committee. Kind of been in charge of it, I guess, for seems like a couple of terms now. I would like for someone to maybe consider taking that committee on, and they can solicit their other participants, you know, maybe two or three other council members. Basically, when Ms. Carlene gets a recommendation for an Outstanding Citizen Award, it would go to this individual, and that person would then discuss it with the others in their committee and could make a decision on giving it or not. Anyone willing to take that position on? Mr. Perk? All right, so I'll appoint Mr. Perk. Actually, maybe we should do it in a motion and just let him have it through the rest of our term. So I got a motion on the floor by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Melvin, that we appoint Mr. Perk as the person chairing the Outstanding Citizen Award. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas and 0 nays. Ms. Chesson, you have some discussion, ma'am.
Yes, on July 6th, the park across from the Cutoff Youth Center that Lafourche Parish government owns, there will be a ribbon cutting ceremony. The pavilion's going up now. The swings have been put in place. But July 6th, a ribbon cutting ceremony at noon. They'll be naming the park, and thank y'all for voting for that. And there'll be burgers and hot dogs being cooked by Mr. Thibodeau, so everyone is invited.
Very good. Thank you, Ms. Chesson. Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
Yeah, I just want to, I think what was a couple of weeks ago, we had the Melodia grand opening, and I know several of us were there, and I received a phone call from a constituent Monday saying, man, you ought to see the bayou, and the Layton launch was full, Melodia launch was full. He said there were people crabbing in the bayou, and just so I think that speaks volumes for our parish and the resource that Bayou Lafourche can provide for us. So I just thought I'd pass that along, and that's a good thing. So it's one of the things I mentioned to Sheriff Weber at the grand opening. You know, I think our major goal is if we can have those guys patrolling the bayou, then that means people are using it, right? So anyway, I just thought I'd share that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. Last thing I'll leave y'all with is the voters had approved the state of Louisiana. This was a legislative act allowing for each individual parish to provide an additional tax exemption, homestead tax exemption up to $100,000 for first responders. It's been kind of quiet. I've been getting poked more and more about it lately. So I did mention a little bit to the administrator tonight. I know the parish president's aware of it. I know the sheriff's aware of it. So at some point we're going to have to discuss this with our tax assessor and see if this is something. Eventually we come to the council to approve in the form of an ordinance, kind of the same as like disabled veterans get that extra tax exemption. So anyway, just want everybody to be aware of that. If anyone's willing to help facilitate that, I would appreciate it. With that said, if there's no further discussion, we'll move on. Mr. Adams, item P, adjournment on motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. And with no further business, Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of June 11, 2024 will be adjourned at 18:10 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Motion passes 9 yeas, 0 nays.